Welcome to Before After Omu. This is our 8th episode and we have made you a radio drama called Join Us, It's Fun.
So Atsushi, we've been pretty busy in the last 2 weeks. Do you want to tell everyone why?
Okay, our film, Me and the Cult Leader, is world premiering at Sheffield Doc Fest and is available in UK until July 10th. But there are only 500 tickets, so we hope you get a chance to see it.
How do you feel as the director your film is finally out?
The two ways, I'm very honored and I feel very happy. And on the other hand, more I feel released from my responsibility. I really had to complete this film. Many people supported this film through crowdfunding and in various ways. So I really had to finish, and I'm very, very honored. But I feel very released. I don't think I am enjoying it fully yet.
The reviews have been really wonderful and thoughtful, and honestly, I am floored and ecstatic. And I think maybe, just watching it 4 times in the last week, before we handed it over to Sheffield, I think, you watched even more times than me. It's just really interesting to see it from the perspective of people who, can't recite it backwards. It's just really, I'm really glad they like it, and it's just really nice the film is finally out into the world.
To be honest, right, I have never been in the situation where I read the review on my film. That makes me feel very, very strange and odd. But I'm very happy to read the review that really, really understand what we tried to accomplish in the film. If we don't have those audience or reviewer, I feel, a little bit very disappointed, but I feel very happy and I really appreciate those reviews,
All right, let's get to today's show.
Yes.
以上の措置をもって時局を収集せんとほし。
If you are a victim, you're a victim. You're not a journalist.
そうですね、来るべきものが来てるんじゃないでしょうか。
I'm Atsushi Sakahara. I'm a filmmaker based in Kyoto, Japan, and I am a victim and survivor in the sarin gas attack back in 1995 in Tokyo.
And I'm Pearl Chan. I'm a film and birth worker based in Hong Kong.
Before we start today, I want to ask you to please rate and review our podcast on iTunes or wherever you listen. We work very hard on bringing you the truth about this terrible cult and Shoko Asahara. Please support us with a few minutes of your time. Thank you. As with the last few episodes, our research relies heavily on the work on Fumihiko Takayama's book, Birth of Asahara, and Shoko Asahara no Tanjou in Japanese, which has not been translated from Japanese yet.
At the end of the last episode, we left Shoko mid-air, levitating on the top of the world. With his diligent early followers getting him into magazines and newspapers, his entire success can be drawn back to the photo shoot with Weekly Playboy, where he's levitating. But even before it went to print in February 1986, the cult had already gained momentum, growing from 6 to 50 members in November 1985, when they had their first retreat. When I was researching this episode and thinking about it, I thought the easiest way to explain what the experience would have been like, what Aum in its early days would have been like, would be to walk you through as an early adopter of Aum Shinrikyo. So the following account is compiled from several accounts from ex-members who spoke to Fumihiko and other interviews, and so we just kind of compiled them into what example of an early adopter of Aum would have experienced. It's 1985 October. You're in your early 20s and you're working a low-level office job in a large corporation. You're interested in the supernatural and you pick up a copy of those new occult magazines. Inside, there's an article about Shoko Asahara, about his dojo in Shibuya, not far from your office. You decide to stop by one day after work. Once you get there, you're greeted by several women your age. Very nice women greet you, smiling. They invite you to the yoga class that's just about to start. You're reticent. You're still in your suit, but you stick around. You find yourself breathing along with the instruction. You come back later that week with a change of clothes and you try yoga for the first time. It's the first time in a long time since you've stretched. You breathe with everyone in the room, and in the closing sequence, you feel the energy of everyone else in the room as they Om. At the end of the class, one of the women come up to you and invite you to the retreat they're doing next month in the mountains. It's only 7,000 yen to sign up, plus 20,000 for the hotel room and food. Yeah, it could be fun, you think, and you put your name down. The retreat starts on a weekend in November. Winter is coming and it is quite cold, but the energy, the atmosphere is really good. There are about 50 other people in the room. The teacher, or guru as some of the other students call him, will be holding seminars. After the day of seminars, you think you're going to go out and see what the area looks like. You've never been here before. But while some students go back to their room, a few go with Shoko Asahara. You wonder briefly what they're off to, but then another participant asks if you want to grab a bite to eat. Sure, you say. You head out. On the way to the restaurant, you ask the other participants where everybody else was going. They tell you about Kundalini. Kundalini?
Kundalini is a divine energy which lives in the base of your tailbone. It's like a snake sleeping, coiled in your tailbone. And when it awakens, it is a change in your consciousness. It's like an out-of-body experience, like an electrical current running up your spine. And so the guru, he will do Shakti part and awaken your Kundalini. Talk to Ishii-san or Yamamoto-san. They can set it up for you.
So after dinner, when you get back to the retreat, you run into Mayumi Yamamoto. You ask her, Yamamoto-san, I heard about Shakti pot? Can I try? She smiles and looks at you. She looks like she's thinking about it, and then slowly she says,
Yes, of course. But you're not a member, right?
You nod. No, not a member.
The suggested donation is 30,000 yen for the session.
She pauses.
But if you are a member, then your commitment to the guru is more clear. The suggested donation would be 50,000 yen.
It seems like a good deal. Half off.
The joining fee is 30,000 yen. It's an administration cost, and then just another 2,000 a month to keep it active.
You nod. So basically, if you...
Here, let's do this. If you pay the membership joining fee, which is the same as a Shakti Pass session, then we can also count your membership joining fee as a donation. Or you can give whatever your heart is open to. The guru is understanding.
Okay, you think. So it's a 30,000 yen commitment. Let's try it, you think. It's not too much money, plus It's an experience. Leaving your body sounds electrifying.
Okay, I talk to the guru and let you know once he's ready for you.
Okay, so you think, they'll come get you. You go back to your room, you lie down, and you try to sleep. At 2 a.m., there's a knock on your door.
He's ready for you.
You go with her. She brings you to a room. The guru is sitting in the middle of the room, meditating. Yamamoto-san guides you to lie down in front of him. You do so slowly. It's still early in the morning. You're still a little sleepy. You settle into corpse position. You're lying flat on your back, your palms facing up. You're looking at the guru. You can feel the warmth of his body. He guides you to close your eyes, and he puts his thumb between your eyebrows. My third eye, you think. At first, you don't feel anything other than the pressure on your forehead. He continues to rub your third eye, pressing into it to activate it. What was it called again? You forget, but you know it's in your tailbone. You focus on your tailbone. You direct your concentration there. Your tailbone starts to heat up, as if it was burned by a gas stove. The heat goes up from there to the top of your head, through your spine. You squirm a little. What am I doing here? And then his thumb moves, and the man's entire palm is on your forehead, and you hear a sound from inside your skull. The feeling is so intense, like something in you has cracked open. You cannot verbalize it. It feels like you know that you are loved. It's an indescribable joy. When the guru lifts his hand off of your head, you feel the cold air of the room again. You open your eyes, and another man is standing in the doorway, small, tired, and shocked. It's his turn now. Yamamoto-san, ever smiling, helps you up. The guru is unmoving, but you manage to capture an image of him in your head. As you lie back down in your room, you cannot sleep, and the image of his face is seared into your brain. As the weeks and months go on, you spend more and more time after work and on weekends at the dojo. The guru is always working, always ready to listen if you have to talk. He's always teaching yoga or doing Shaktipat. He's an inspiration. You once watched him sit there in front of a man doing Shaktipat for 40 minutes before this new member's Kundalini woke up. You don't have a clear idea about how long it took you the first time. More and more people join the organization, and you don't always know everyone in the room anymore. The guru is very kind. He always has time for you. With your family so far away since you moved to Tokyo for work, the dojo has become like a surrogate family. The guru like a surrogate father, even though he can't really be that much older than you, can he? He's guiding you to free yourself, teaching you that you can also reach salvation if you commit to practicing hard enough, that each reincarnation is further proof of your unsalvageable nature. Unsalvageable, that is, without him and his guidance. You think about the feeling you had that night in the mountains when your Kundalini woke up. This must be the true meaning, you think. You have less and less aspiration at work. What is the point of that presentation next Wednesday? Your boss is just a cog in the system, like his boss, and like you, and like your subordinate, all cogs in a system. At the rate he's going, if he stays where he is, he will just keep repeating this in his next life, finishing presentations again and again, reincarnated to middle management. A few months later, the guru asked you to drive with 2 other members to Tohoku, an area known for Hihirokane stones that they use for meditation in the organization. The day doesn't start well. For a start, you get a speeding ticket on your way out of Tokyo. You give the officer your license, he hands you your ticket. You drive slower this time, but then slower and slower and slower and even more uneven. You have a flat tire. You pull over on the side of the road. The three of you get out. You change the tire in the hot afternoon sun. You get back into the car and drive some more. But now you're hungry. You park the car and go into the nearest Yoshinoya. When you come out, you feel greasy. And you see a ticket on the window. It's a parking ticket. When you return, you hand the 2 tickets over to Hisako Ishii. She takes care of all the finances now. She takes the 2 tickets and purses her lips together. You hadn't thought too hard about it, but now you're worried. What if the guru is upset with you? You look around. A lot of people are there. There are those who stay at the dojo overnight, who are always there, but also some from the Yokohama Center who've come all the way here. Everyone is milling around, unsure about what is happening. Why has everyone gathered? Asahara emerges.
Why do you think each individual has come here? Why do you think your behavior will be tolerated? If you are this careless, then are you this careless with your salvation? With my time, with your effort, why do you think each and every one of these people are here? Are you here to sabotage our work? Are you here to stop us from revelation, from enlightenment? Why do you act this way?
He storms off. He's going back to Funabashi tonight. You hear someone say, "Why is he so angry?" You think, it's not like you wanted to be pulled over or have a flat tire. Why is he so angry? You decide to try and find Hisako Ishii. You'll explain it to her. You'll explain it to her and it'll be fine. You find her and you explain it to her, and while you're telling this to her, she begins to write down what you say. You try to peek over her notepad to see what exactly she's written down, but instead she puts it down and says to you,
Thank you. I'll talk to the guru. Please reflect on your behavior as well.
You feel like the floor is falling out from under you and a darkness is descending. It's like that time in high school again when you could not get out of bed. You had no will to live. When you were thinking about killing yourself, you cry as you drive home that night. When your mother asks you what's wrong, you close the door. You cry more, you can't get up in the morning, you tell your mother you're sick, but then you remember what the guru said.
If you kill yourself, you will keep going to hell.
How can you go on like this? Should you leave the organization? Will they ever forgive you? How can you work harder to prove yourself? You think about every moment of that trip. How many kilometers were you going over the limit? Why didn't you notice the no parking sign? Or was it something else? Your world spins around and around as you go over the time again and again. Every day you go back to the dojo, but it seems cold and people keep their distance. No one wants to talk to you. They treat you like an outsider, like a spy. On the Friday, Hisako Ishii speaks to you.
Please remember you said you will come to the book actively tomorrow. I hope to see you early tomorrow.
You nod. Yes, you had said you would go help. Yes, maybe it'll be okay after all. That night, you meditate by yourself and promise that you will work harder. You will sacrifice more for everything to be good again. The next day, you go down to the dojo and pick up boxes of books. Everyone else is outside, and for a minute, you are alone inside, looking at the boxes of books. Books your guru has written. His face is looking up at you, full of wisdom, and all of a sudden, all the pain leaves. Your emotions clear up, and you feel warm in a tingly way. You feel loved. The phone rings. You pick up.
What do you think? Is it good?
Yes. Yes, it is good. I think the reason why I wanted to do this episode like this was because it was really hard to understand why these people believed and continued to believe in Shoko Asahara. From our perspective, it makes no sense because obviously we don't believe in Shoko Asahara. But if you look closely, you can tell the clear markers of an abusive relationship. And the psychology is exactly the same.
Yes, I think so. Some way or another, or intentionally or unintentionally, their psychology is controlled by the Shoko Asahara's act and Shoko Asahara, or maybe surroundings, and that's the way they are trapped, and also the way they are fall into the cult mindset, right? That's so, yeah.
The other thing is like this behavior, this sort of like punishment and then reward is actually very similar to how his older brother treated him when they were kids. Hurt people, and he obviously had a traumatized childhood, and because he was abused, this might be the only way he knows how to interact with people, or he can tell very clearly that this works. And so that's why he continues to do this. He knows that this is what makes people come back again and again, because it's what made him go back to his brother again and again.
So, yeah, and also this is sort of, how can I say, a group psychology too. One feels this way, and the others also feels this way, sharing, and then that makes him the guru, you know?
Yeah, it's a mixture of peer pressure and societal norms within this sort of bubble society.
Yes. Yeah, and then also, but the one, like, what I want to say is though, like levitation is, as according to our knowledge, Shoko Asara did only once, correct?
Anyways, he did once for the photographs.
Okay. But one only occasion makes him who he is. And this story is, I kind of feel that is the story told so many times among them.
The story of the levitation?
No, story of the how the psychology is manipulated. Because now we have a objective view, so we can see things objectively.
Yeah, for sure.
Right?
And they didn't have
Among
that back
them,
then.
they believed in this story, right? Oh, Guru Asahara has a superpower to read humans' mind, right? But you do so many times, it's if you give so many advice, one could be very good advice, you know what I'm saying? It doesn't mean every single advice is very, very good advice, correct? So, I don't know, maybe I'm trying to be too critical, but that happens. And then they are like almost like a placebo effect as a group. They start believing in him, right?
Well, I mean, the thing is like other yoga teachers, other yoga gurus do Shaktipati, what's it called? Shaktipat.
Yes.
And like
Shaktipat,
Kundalini,
yes.
these are not things that he invented. These are ideas that are used widely in New Age religions and yoga. And so I think it's not surprising to me that these would get confused to be, magic powers. But I think that if you think of it physiologically and that these things are possible physiologically, then people could be confused into thinking that it's magic.
Yes, that's right. Because actually I had a chance to talk with Dr. Shinji Miyadai. He is a sociologist and he's very familiar with those things, okay? And he says that, yes, that's very scientific, so meaning you can repeat these things, Kundalini again and again, right? It works. But around the time, we are not so knowledgeable about this, right? So I think Asahara had a very, very good weapon to manipulate the people's psychology too.
So for the next episodes, we're going to be talking about Shoko Asahara's travels for enlightenment, which bring him to India and other places, including a visit to the Dalai Lama. And then we're going to do an episode on the structure of the cult, which is really interesting. And we'll also be posting a Q&A from Sheffield with their artistic director, Cynthia Gill, soon, which I'm super excited about. It was a really fun Q&A, and we also got to ask them a few questions about their programming. The festival is online, and it's available, and the film is available in the UK until July 10th. This is the first year where online film festivals are being taken seriously, actually, because all the major festivals are going online, and it's just really interesting to talk to a programmer about what that experience has been like, and we're really, really glad the film is playing there. So I really hope you guys get a chance to check out the film and leave us a review about it on Letterboxd if you get the chance.
Please listen and subscribe wherever you listen. Review and ratings helps other people find us. Thank you for listening. Reach out to us on Twitter at BeforeAfterAum.
Please note that our Twitter handle changed because the name of the film changed, and so we decided to align the name of our Twitter handle with our podcast.
Music from this episode was from Blue Dot Session.